three world champions in this race. Thomas Gollop, 2010 world champion off the inside. Peter Young goes off gate number 2. Jason Crump off gate number 3, and Nicky Pedersen going off the outside. 7 world titles between them in heat number 19.
Yeah, competitive race, pretty much as all 20 heats have been tonight. And Jason Crump, Nicky Pedersen's really about those two. I think they both, to be certain, they're going to want some points out of this race.
Crump, fitter and stronger than he has been for 2 or 3 years now. Heat 19, watch out for Gollop off the inside gate in red. Quality lineup this, who will emerge? And into that first turn, Gollop hits the first turn superbly. Peter Young holds second. Now Crump is going to be very calculated here. He's going to go wide. Has he got the drive though? Young closes the door and Nicky Pedersen comes through. And for some reason the red light has gone on. There's an unsatisfactory start.
Possibly Thomas Gollop did seem to react quickly. I don't think he did anything wrong, but if it is an unsatisfactory start, let's have a look at Thomas on the inside. He certainly was quite... Well, maybe there was some movement there, but I think that's harsh on Thomas. I think it was just a fantastic start.
Very harsh.
Very harsh, if that's what it's for.
You have to give a reason for pulling up a race, and he's just made a great start there. It's as simple as that, isn't it?
When we watched it first time around, I thought it was a cracking reaction from Thomas Gollop, and that's exactly what it was. If that race has been brought back for that, he'll feel justifiably hard done by, I think.
Krista Gardell is our referee. The man with the finger on the button. All 4 riders back for the restart. And it did take a while for the riders to register that the red lights were on. And just a little bit of time to refuel and get set for action again. But it is harsh on Thomas Gollop. I don't think that justified a restart, to be honest.
No, absolutely not. No, it was just a textbook start. He reacted quicker than the other 3 riders and took the bike to the corner. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. So I'm sure he's going to feel aggrieved if that's the case. But we're watching some edge changing going on there. They've made a start, so the riders all now want to have a fresh edge. So they change the sprocket and the spoiler around and give themselves a fresh starting edge on the tyre. These tyres only do 1 race on each side and then they're thrown away. While we're looking at these shots, you can see the mudguards. There's a technical change this year. The rear mudguards have to be only 35mm above the tyre. That's to stop the case in particular of Jason Crump, the man we're looking at now, where he got his arm trapped in between the mudguard and the rear tyre, and he sustained some very serious burns and injuries to his arm, which have blighted him for the last couple of seasons.
Absolutely, yeah. It certainly influenced his Grand Prix campaign over the last couple of years, there's no doubt about that. So, frantic activity in the pits, and Scottish flags flying here in New Zealand. We've seen Bert Harkins in the pits area, former Scottish international, enjoying the action. But yeah, it's quite mystifying as to why Krista Gardell felt that was an unsatisfactory start. Thomas Gollop will feel very, very hardly done by, and he will be doubly determined to make it right at the second time of asking.
Yeah, he will. I mean, off gate 1 now, you do need to make a clear start. You need to get your front wheel in front before you hit the corner, because the rider's still with the track now, drying out from the grading after heat 16. It's in perfect racing order. So those guys on the outside, if they can get there to the corner with you, they'll have a good run. And Nicky Pedersen, it's good to see him up on his feet. It's good to see he doesn't seem to have any lasting effects from that high-speed crash.
Surely he's going to be very sore tomorrow, and on the flight home as well. He's going to be feeling it, isn't he, Chris?
It's a long flight when you can't really move around too much, isn't it? That's that's going to be the hard bit for him.
Battered and bruised. It was a horrendous landing. He was seen again.
Nothing wrong with that.
No. Thomas Gollop has just made a dream start, but obviously Krista Gardell thought that he was at an advantage, which was unfair.
Perhaps he just leant on the button, Nigel.
Maybe. But yeah, we've got to do it again. A restart of heat number 19. And the riders are allowed extra time for the reasons that Chris Louis was outlining just a few moments ago, for the alterations that they have to make in the pits. But they're making their way back out onto the track now, and we'll be underway for heat 19, the penultimate race of the qualifiers. Big crowd here, and back in the UK on Monday night at the Arlington Stadium, it's Eastbourne Eagles and Kings Lynn Stars live on Sky Sports HD, the first Elite League action of the season at Arlington Stadium. Looking forward to that. The Elite League getting underway. Regular Monday night action. The Grand Prix works out to be every other weekend, effectively, save for a midsummer break for the Speedway World Cup. So, plenty of Speedway ahead over the next 6 months.
Yeah, looking forward to the Speedway World Cup. It's always a big event in the Speedway calendar and fiercely fought, fantastic stuff. But here, right now, it's Auckland, New Zealand Grand Prix, the inaugural Grand Prix. And a pressure race, I think, this one really for the two men on the outside. Nicky Pedersen, Jason Crump, need points here.
Second time of asking there. Heat number 19. Plenty of tension on the start line. Remember, 2 more races, and then we go into the draw for the semi-finals. When I say draw, we know the 8 qualifiers, but it's a question of what gate positions they'll go in. Gollop, Young, Crump, Pedersen. That's your lineup for heat number 19. Gollop's made a good one again off the inside gate and hits the front second time around. Second place here is Ping Young, and look how tight it is. Crump comes around the outside, and Nicky Pedersen moves into third. Now, can Jason Crump pass Thomas Gollop? Crump has to calculate to move back up the inside. Nicky Pedersen is allowed through into second. Crump comes back for more and takes second place. Gollop has the lead. Jason Crump second. Nicky Pedersen is third. This would mean that Jason Crump would move on to 9 points, and Nicky Pedersen would move on to 9 as well, and that would see them safely through to the semi-finals.
Yeah, it's a perfect result for the two of them, but fantastic awareness from Jason Crump as they hit turns 3 and 4. He was aware that Nicky Pedersen was making that traditional dive bomb move up the inside, and Jason just backed off the throttle a little bit, turned the bike back. Looked like Nicky Pedersen turned tight enough to stop the run back up the inside, but Jason with a perfect move to get himself back in the second place, just what he needed to make those semi-finals.
Thomas Gollop is going to head into the semi-finals with 14 points, the same as Greg Hancock. So the old